The BlokeBusters podcast is proud to be a member of the Pod Bros Network. You can find us, as well as other fantastic podcasts, such as Pencil and Ink Review, Another Damn Trivia Show, and The Language of Bromance at podbros.com, as well as on most other fine podcasting services. Now sit back, relax, and prepare to share and enjoy the BlokeBusters podcast.
Welcome to episode 77 of the BlokeBusters podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Brian.
And before we get into it, let's see how quick I can do it this time.
And go.
Do follow us on Twitter at BlokeBusters, Facebook.com/BlokeBusters, email us BlokeBusterPodcast@gmail.com, we're on Instagram at BlokeBusters, and we have a website, BlokeBusters.webs.com, and time. I think that was about 10 seconds.
That was just under 10, I think. Yeah. Well done.
Alright, thank you very much, yes.
That'll be all for Paul.
Yes, and for those of you who didn't catch that, just replay it at about 0.5 speed. And
there you go. Oh, check the links in the
yes.
in the episode. Yeah.
Well, assuming the links work. I've never fully tested those.
Oh, okay.
It's listed in there, so at the very least you can copy and paste.
Yeah. Alright,
yeah. So, this time around, for reasons I don't fully understand, we've chosen to review
I don't understand.
What Women Want.
And not the general topic, the film.
Yes. Yes, I mean, if we were going to start trying to review What Women Want, we would probably have to end this podcast just because of the hate mail. That would not go well. So, anyway, this did originally start with me just texting Brian saying, any thoughts on what we should do?
Yeah.
And his immediate response
it was immediate.
Was Beethoven's Christmas Adventure.
Yeah.
And I said, sure, why not?
Uh-huh.
And then Brian said, no, we shouldn't do that. How about What Women Want?
Well, I was just like, I just didn't feel like doing it. Like, it was weird to do like a Christmas type movie, even though it was Beethoven in September.
Although I would like to point out that even though it might be weird for us to do that, Netflix added it in August.
Yes.
So
true.
It's a little odd for that.
Yes, and I did later find out there is one that came out in a few years later. So it's not the most recent, because we were wondering if it was the last in the series, but
yes, we may be doing that in future, possibly, or
yes.
Brian also posited something which, hopefully by saying it on here, someone will remind us, so we'll actually do it. We are considering putting out a poll at the end of this year, asking people what bad Christmas film they'd want us to do. Or, I mean, maybe not even just bad.
I think we should do at least a couple.
Yeah,
so we can have...
Because obviously we've done a couple of Christmas ones before where we've gone over Christmas films from our past and stuff like that. But, yeah, obviously...
I want some real stinkers. Like, I want some bad...
Well, I was even considering I'm going to throw my hat in here and suggest no. I actually don't mind doing that. I know it's a bad film, but I don't mind it. But yes, I think the Grumpy Cat Christmas film, I think that could be a real contender. But yes, there's plenty out there.
There are plenty to choose from.
So if you start letting us know now, maybe we'll actually have a list ready, and then we can put it out there, see what people want.
Yeah,
and. Yes, so, What Women Want.
So stop stalling.
So, this was directed by Nancy Myers, and I am not overly familiar with her work. I do know that she has been quite prolific.
Yeah, going all the way back to Private Benjamin, even before then a little bit, but... Yeah, at least as a writer, I mean, but as like a producer and director.
Yeah, she's been writer, producer, and director of about like 7 films. So she's been quite busy working.
Most recent stuff is a lot of the rom-com fare.
Yes, definitely. And a budget of $70 million and a box office worldwide of $374,111,707 US.
Yeah, quite a successful film.
It did quite well. In fact,
very well.
For a long time, this film was actually the most successful film made by a woman.
Yeah.
I do not know which film unseated that. It might be, I don't know, Hurt Locker or something like that.
Okay, or it's got to be something by Catherine Bigelow or Sophia. Couple of them. Yeah, I don't know how well Lost in Translation did, but
no, that's a good point. That one was quite well received.
But yeah,
I mean, we could have done some more
research. We could have
looked
on this, but that's what you folks are out there for.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Correction about it anyway.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell us what this film is about then, Brian?
Alright, this won't take long. After an accident, a chauvinistic executive gains the ability to hear what women are really thinking. An accident.
Yes, an accident.
And as Paul and I recently discovered, this is a subgenre of comedy that's called the comedy What If?
What If, yes.
Genre.
Yes, thank you Box Office Mojo for refining all of these into really odd subgenres within genres.
It is, but once you start thinking along those terms, the titles do start coming to you pretty quickly.
Yes. And number one for that genre was Bruce Almighty. So, and then you start thinking,
you said I think Big was 6. I would have put Big at number 1.
Big was number 6. I mean, this is the way they list it in those charts is domestic box office. So obviously internationally we'll change that. And so Big was on there. Liar Liar.
What was the one I said that wasn't on there?
Mannequin, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, Mannequin. Like that, come on. How do you not love that movie? Okay. Anyway. We should probably talk about this movie.
Yes, we should. I mean, you might start noticing a theme here where we kind of get a bit off base. So, who is this chauvinistic pig? Well, it's Mel Gibson.
No foreshadowing here.
Yes. Mel Gibson
Mad Mel
plays Nick Marshall, the chauvinistic guy, and I think one of the notes I didn't write down, but I would seriously consider was just say, he must have been absolutely at home playing the first 20 minutes of this film. And then Helen Hunt plays Darcy McGuire.
Fresh off of, As Good As It Gets, just a couple years after that. Yeah. So her star was pretty high.
Yeah. When was Twister?
Twister was like 96?
Maybe? Okay, so a couple of years after that is when they would have started looking for her, yeah.
Twister was 96, and then, As Good As It Gets was 97.
Alright. Yeah. Alan Alda as Dan Wanamaker. That would be the guy who owns the company, I guess. I'm never really sure what his role is. He just seems to be a higher up.
Higher up that has to talk to the board.
Yeah. Got to talk to the boys downtown about the thing. That Marissa Tomei is in this as Lola, no last name.
Lola, yes.
And of course, Lauren Holly is in it as Gigi, no last name.
Yeah.
In fact, upon looking at the cast list for this, it appears that over 50% of characters in this film have no last name of any description whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is kind of some who's who of late 90s stars here.
And there's a fair number of people in this film.
Delta Burke, of course. How could we leave out Delta Burke?
How could we?
Designing what women want. There we go. Ooh, well done. Okay, fine. Alright, so, where shall we get into this thing?
I don't know.
You know what, I'm gonna start right up, I'll start at the beginning here. Okay, so the movie opens with lots of cuts together of this man being described.
Yep. As a man's man.
As a man's man, yeah. From all different perspectives or all different people that he's interacted with, or family, friends, whatever.
One of whom being the ex-wife that we don't find out about until like 20 minutes later.
Yeah. But I just don't like that method of story. Like, that form of exposition, I would rather see a well-written scene that shows him, like, we're going to see him being chauvinistic and a sexist asshole later. Like, that'll paint all the backstory we need. I don't need, especially right at the top of the film, like 4 minutes of exposition about what a douche this guy is.
Yeah.
So I mean, from the get-go, I'm like, I always say, I think show, don't tell. Show me this guy's a jerk.
Well,
Don't tell me about it.
In that case, I think you need look no further than the opening scene of Bridesmaid. I don't know if you've seen Bridesmaid, but the opening scene being Kristen Wiig in bed with her boyfriend,
John Hamm, right?
I guess, yes, Mr. John, the wonderful John Hamm, and that is all you need to know about his character right there. The way he is treating her in a 45-second scene is way better than this 3-4 minute. Well, you know this guy. This is what he's like, and you don't even see him on screen for a long time, right? Isn't it until they pretty much stop talking?
Count whoever they cast as the kid to play, in the photo or whatever. Yeah, with the dancers or whatever. But it was so weird that they spent that long talking about this guy, and then you finally see him. It's like you'd think that it was a lot of setup right up top. Like, let's just get into it. We'll quickly discover his true nature, But I mean, from the beginning, that was like my big gripe right away.
Well, in that case, how about we go for one of the biggest gripes about this entire film in general? Because obviously, we just said that this was a hell of a lot of exposition, and this film is over 2 hours long.
I was going to get to that point. It is quite long.
It is.
I was really shocked because I'm like, I figured I didn't look at the running time before. Like, I think we both said before we recorded we've each seen this once. Mine was years ago when it came out, like on video or whatever, but I didn't remember so I figured I'd allow myself. Paul and I both watched this morning separately, but this morning I'm like, I'll give myself 2 hours to watch this, and that'll be enough time before you get here to record this thing. Yeah. And then I looked on Netflix and I was like, 127? What the hell?
And when you said it, and we were like, okay, we're going to do that, and then also
very long for a romantic comedy.
Yeah, we are also today going to be recording the next French fry thing that we're doing. Just very quick tangent here. I really hope you guys did enjoy the first one that came out.
Oh, please, yes, let us know what you thought.
And we're looking forward to doing the next one. But I was talking with my wife in the week, and I was saying, okay, so maybe Friday night I'll watch one, Saturday night I'll watch one, it'll be fine. I look up the run time, and it's 87 minutes. Like, okay, maybe I'll watch that one. Look at the run time for this, and it's like 127 minutes. How about I not watch that one at night? I don't want to be stuck downstairs for 2 hours watching this thing. So it was very
in the morning.
Very interesting. Like that. Sitting down watching this, and I think I got half an hour into it, and I'd gone through about 3 scenes that I remember, and I was like, I had to pause it, I went to the toilet or something, and then I looked up and was like, there's still an hour and 40 minutes left. What else are they going to do?
What is there? I get it.
Alright. Even when it comes to romantic comedy, I don't know if I can list one that lasts longer than 2 hours. Even Love Actually isn't 2 hours long, and there's so much they crammed into that. So
there is some slow bits in there to get through. But I will say, I don't know. Let's back things up a little bit again. So obviously we know, so this is of course made by a woman. And before I get myself in too much trouble here, I am a feminist. I am on record as being a feminist.
We are two people that could not more firmly believe in just equal rights across the board, no matter what. So, anything we say here that might be seen as derogatory, we promise is in jest, anything like
not
that.
Not intentional or anything, yes. And we fully understand that we may be talking out of our asses and not know what women want.
Yeah, and it's also kind of sad that we need to preface it
exactly.
with this,
watching, so what I was getting to was, of course, the opening of the film and watching this character, Nick, behave that way is of course the point, but still in 2016's view, it's still uncomfortable, or at least was for me, to watch him call everyone babe and then tell the really dirty sexist joke about still sucking after 10 years.
Yeah. I did enjoy the fact that the maid did say what am I, a pig? Like, I kind of like that comeback, and then it's never brought up again. Like, he still calls her babe, and there's no whatever. So it's now one thing. I'm kind of interested to see what you think about this, because when I finished the film, I just kind of sat there for a minute.
Yeah.
And then as I said, I half wrote it down and then just kind of stopped because I was kind of done with it for now. But despite the fact that this was directed by a woman and I think at least co-written or something like that by her as well, I still think this film is kind of sexist towards women. Just a little.
Really? I didn't really get that too much.
Well, just
anymore.
The only reason I say that is you've got, say, the Lola character. Mm-hmm. Her entire being, apparently, towards the end of the film, is summed up by this guy that didn't call her back, and he has to be gay, otherwise I'm not attractive. Like, that's not quite what you want to put forward as a character.
That's just one messed up character.
Well, but then all of the other women in this film, they all think that this guy's a sleazeball, and they all just are like, I'm only doing this job because you're not anything like that. But none of them do anything about this thing. Like, they just sit there, take everything that happened, and just think, I don't like him. That's it. That's the only thing that ever happens here. Like, there's no empowered women. With the exception of Helen Hunt's character, who still needs validation. Like, I know it's a romantic comedy, but still, there's the only character in this film that really has any power, like, regardless of supernatural or not, it's Mel Gibson. It's, I don't know, obviously it's a romantic comedy, but I think it's aimed more at men than at women based on just my observation of this thing, and I don't think most men would want to watch it, so...
Okay, I don't know if that was just a sign of the times, or... I mean, this is 16 years ago, and this maybe as much, or as... feminist as a movie could get, that then I don't know. I'm sure there are other examples that are out there that might be better ones, but around that time. But I didn't get as strongly a vibe as you did from that. I mean, I did want to see some stronger female characters, but I did enjoy it. And of course, as always, these are spoiler episodes. I did enjoy the role reversal at the end of the film, where he's the one that needs rescuing. And that's typically the male role. The roles are switched around there. And she has the power there.
Or that, and you do remember, there is one strong character, female character in this film, and it's the daughter.
Yes,
that was well done.
And she's shown, in their bathroom scene at the prom, that she has, a level head and can make a grown-up adult decision.
More so than some of the grown-ups.
Yes, exactly. I thought she was a strong character as well.
So thanks again. Like, this film just kind of numbed me a little bit, so I might have forgotten that bit, but I still think my point mostly stands. At least from my observation.
I think it's a fair point. But I don't know. Like, I was throwing a caveat in there. I don't know how much we should expect from a film from 2000, but
we're coming at it from now, and definitely got to take the culture of the time into account, and I would have no idea what the culture of 2000s business America would be.
I was not quite in the business field then, and neither am I now.
Yes, you are not now. Either, so there we go.
Certainly not. You know what? Here's one thing I wanted to bring up. This one thing that I thought really dated this movie was the amount of smoking. In this, like, that is definitely like a sign that you're watching something prior to all of the political correctness of.
I would say prior to about 2005. That's when smoking bans and stuff started to get talked about.
But I mean, everyone smokes. Everyone has a cigarette. They're lighting up in the offices. They're lighting up.
and also. In a bit that I didn't fully understand, the uncredited cameo by Bette Midler as the psychiatrist, and she's like, "Do you mind if I smoke?" And then she just kind of like puff. It's like, Like, what are you doing?
Is this your cigarettes?
Apparently.
She mind if I take up smoking right now?
Yes, she's had it on hand just in case something weird happens.
Yes, in case she finds herself in a comedy what-if plot, she will be able to have those cigarettes in.
Yeah, and there was definitely a pre-rolled cigarette of undetermined origin, because it definitely looked like something else.
There might have been some herbal refreshment in there.
Possibly. I mean, it's a psychiatrist's office. I mean, maybe they need a bit of relief from time to time.
That would be,
Might also explain the weird puffing as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I did find that out that she was just in that one scene. I don't know. I don't know how she was connected to this, but
I think it was, hey, we got Bette Midler.
Yeah, exactly.
We got her for one day. Let's see what she'll do.
Shall we talk about the inciting what-if incident?
Sure.
The most plausible thing.
Yeah,
I mean, taking a cue from, 1980s weird science magic, almost.
Yeah, kind of. And I did kind of want to talk about the fact that this whole film based around the idea that this guy gets gender-specific telepathy.
Amongst all creatures, apparently.
Yes.
Well, at least mammals.
All species scenes. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, not only is it every woman, but apparently
poodles.
every female dog as well.
No word on cats. We didn't get to find out on that, but
no. But yes, at the time he ran across a cat, he had lost the ability. So there we go. But
so anyway, he's trying these products on. Helen Hunt is the new boss that needs to be wowed by these pitches the next day.
Yeah, she. For those of you that haven't seen the film, well done you. But they also everyone in this department gets given a box filled with items aimed at women.
Gross women things
that need new representation. Apparently, this one I don't know exactly how this works. If they just ship out to all companies and then there's almost like a bidding thing that happened. I don't know. But yes, it's filled with things like lipstick, mascara, home waxing kits, and bras and stuff. She started listing it off, and I was like, okay, he's
I was
some stuff
waiting
out of the
for
box.
the feminine hygiene because I didn't remember it. I'm like, did they throw some feminine hygiene? And of course, no. But
even with that, everything that she listed. By the time she reached the end of the list, I was like, I'm not sure if you could fit everything in that box.
They definitely seemed a lot lighter on the table than all of those things.
Yeah, it wasn't like you took the lid off and you could see the tops of things. Mm-hmm. They took the lid off and you could see still box underneath
it was
that.
It was a magic clown car type box where you could just keep pulling out almost, objects.
The Mary Poppins bag.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I was going for there.
In a surprisingly forward action by this guy. He goes home and tries everything.
I mean, this is before, because this was one of those things, in my head, I had that scene as happening, after somehow he had gotten the power.
Yeah, maybe halfway through.
Yeah, but he actually goes on and, tries these things on. You get the famous pantyhose scene and, with the daughter and boyfriend walking in, but all the lipstick and the painting the fingernails and the pre-40-year-old virgin hot wax. And gag.
Oh, alright, and I do think that scene was done really well.
But
as you said, a little too early in the film because he's a little too accepting of everything. Given what he's supposed to be, and he's supposed to be the man's man and the chauvinistic guy, that guy, even if it was somehow related to his job, wouldn't try everything in that box.
Certainly not the pregnancy test.
No.
I don't know how he tried that one. But be on it. See what happens.
Well, that was the thing, and obviously we still haven't got to the actual incident itself. But as the incident is happening, you see some of the stuff in the bath, and the pregnancy test box is just floating in there. It's so does he just take a couple of the stuff and just throw them? I don't need that. Okay, no. But although he does say later in the film that he tried every item in the box, which means he did pee on a pregnancy stick.
Fair. I guess that's what we could infer. All right.
I think he tells two different people he tried every item in the box. So.
All right.
So
anyway,
so this box filled with stuff is now exploded all across the room. There's bath beads,
the aromatherapy beads that he comically dances across for
and of course a while. He's caught by his daughter and her girlfriend, like in the midst of trying all of this stuff,
whichever you want to call him.
Yeah, don't care.
Not our choice.
The guy from 6 Feet Under, anyway, the boyfriend from 6 Feet Under, and caught by them. Boyfriend goes home. She gets annoyed that he's not listening. He can't remember the boyfriend's name, which, to be perfectly honest, I don't know if I would the very first time someone says, like, this is my boyfriend, here's his name. 2 minutes later, chances are, as bad as I am with names, I'll have forgotten myself. So I couldn't necessarily fault him there. And he's also a dad that doesn't want his boyfriend, and so he eventually does remember the name, and in trying to prove the point, he's like, oh wait, this is his name. He knocks over the beads.
Yeah, they go spilling across the floor.
Yeah, something happens, the beads fall on the floor, which causes the skidding all around while holding a hairdryer with possibly the longest stretchy cord and most powerful grip for the socket I've ever seen.
Yeah, because it allows him to dance across the entire bathroom for a while.
Yeah, it's about twice as long as your average cord. And then he's like, eventually, and he bumps into the bath, and he kind of steadies himself, and he's like, wow, that was close. Like, and of course he starts doing 90% of accidents happen in the home, and then of course he slips again, and he falls into the bath.
Zap, zap, zap.
Yeah. Which I did feel that he could either have gotten out of the bath in time, or just knocked the hairdryer away, but no.
We wouldn't have a movie, Paul.
Yes, we wouldn't have a movie. And so, yes, slow motion, oh no, buzz, and then I think he's 1 foot in the bath as it lands, and so he wakes up the next day.
Now we can hear what women
I can hear what
that's how that works.
all female animals
so
think.
Try it at home. Don't try it at home.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
tell us what you think.
Yes. If you have that very stretchy hairdryer, maybe that's the only one that
I think
you
have to have that one in order to get it to work. But so anyway, so through the power of movie what if magic, so he slowly figures out he can hear these women's thoughts. Then that's when he goes to the aforementioned therapist and confides in her, and very quickly gets her to believe him.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I do think the way he does it is the way most people would do it. Like, think of a number, and then he's able to, in real time, list off the number that she's thinking of. So that was quite a nice little quick way of doing it. However, I don't understand why he didn't do that with anyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, even the guy that he's trying to explain, like, I can hear what women think, and he only actually then tries that with one woman. That's it. And then the guy's like, I still don't believe you. And then maybe he does later, based on what he says. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any other scene where he's more, except with the exception of he's talking to the woman who, and I recognised it after 2 minutes of screen time. She plays Angela Petrelli in Heroes, and he's just going like, God, you don't think I pay too much, do you? And that scene was pointless because that went nowhere.
Pardon me. I did have a question about his abilities. That once he realizes he has this power, you think he would have adapted a little faster to the fact that just because he can hear their thoughts, he shouldn't verbalize that immediately to them.
Yep.
Thus somewhat giving up the jig. Or immediately someone thinks of an idea and he presents it as his own immediately. Yeah. Like, you might want to let that sit, play it cool for a bit. But like a woman would think something and then he absolutely would, or like the one woman would say no, she thought about how she's faked headaches before, and immediately jumps on that. Like, that is just way too close to a coincidence. Yeah, and then he does that multiple times. Like, just because you know they don't know you can hear them thinking.
Well, and also he doesn't seem to think about the fact that just because they do it doesn't mean they'll admit to it. Mm-hmm. And so, like that scene, he hears a woman think, because it's about a pitch for Advil, and this woman is thinking, like, oh, you should sell that to me. I fake headaches all the time. And so he's like, aha, okay, well, I'll come up with a pitch that uses that. And when he comes up with a pitch and everyone goes, well, no, that's silly. And then he specifically is going, you right there, you've done this, haven't you?
It like 45 seconds ago you thought of this shit.
And of course she's like, no.
Won't own up to it, yeah.
And then stamps on his foot.
Yes.
I didn't understand that one. Like, surely, again, even if you were the one, like, okay, I do that, but I'm saying, like, no at this point. Why would you stamp on his foot? You're just drawing attention to yourself.
Just because you don't like the guy and he's just being a dick. Yeah. So there was that, but I did like the scene where he... she calls him, where Darcy calls him, and it's a phone call, and there's the confusion there. So apparently the thought volume and the real volume is the same.
And also works over the phone.
And works over the phone.
That one... Even in this entire film, I wasn't going to buy that. I think
you were
that's the thing. Like
the hearing the women's thoughts is enough to just go along with the ride.
It is very very clear as he's walking down. Like he's only hearing the thought when he's in close proximity to the woman.
Yeah, it's a small. It's like a radar with a very short pinging distance.
Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe 5 meters, if that. However, he still feels the need to get shoulder to shoulder with them when he's listening.
Yeah. So it can be extra creepy.
on there. Yeah, I don't think there's ever a point where he's not just like, I can hear this person thinking, hang on, wait, I'm getting closer, oh, they've gone away. Like, what did I do? It's like, you could stand, like, behind her and hear everything, and that does happen a couple of times when he's learning it. And yet, he's always going into full creeper mode when he's trying to listen in on people's thoughts.
Maybe it's something to do with the technology of the telephone, like it's connected with the electricity and it somehow can carry those thoughts through the phone.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. But, there was another moment that I did want to bring up, if we can use a term of Tim and Guy's of TWIOT. Definitely my shining light. Well, one of them. I actually, I've been kind of harboring a secret here, Paul. I had a few. But I think what really stole the show for me was Mel Gibson's dance to the Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, I wrote that
was
down.
Beautiful.
It was really good, actually.
It was there had to be a lot of takes to get that right, because it is so well choreographed.
Well, especially the
hat flipping onto the head and just rolling down onto the leg and onto the... I mean, it's just a great little number, and it really serves no purpose other than to show him kind of how he unwinds or whatever by doing this very well choreographed dance, as we all do at the end of the day.
Yes, exactly.
But I really, really enjoyed that scene.
I actually spent the entire scene thinking, so are they going to have the daughter just walk in and go, what the hell are you doing? It did, for the first, minute of the whole thing, I was like, okay, this is going to be kind of like Love Actually, where Hugh Grant as Prime Minister is doing the dancing all around 10 Downing Street, and then he realizes someone's watching him, so he's like, yes, get me those things. Yeah, I figured he would be interrupted by the daughter just going, what are you doing? Just stop it. And then, nope, that didn't happen, and it was just a really cool dance sequence, and I figured that would somehow come back. Like, maybe there would be some dancing later.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not directly related to that scene, but there is a little bit of a payoff when we realize, like, Darcy's also a Frank fan. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was actually a bit just before that where he's drinking and I need Frank. And I was like, is this character somewhat gay? It's just like, I didn't want to get.
What are you saying, Paul? You can't like Frank Sinatra?
No, that wasn't my first thought. Wasn't he's going? Oh, he wants a Frank Sinatra. It's like, I got to get with my buddy Frank.
Frank.
And it's like, that could be an interesting take that I'd completely forgotten about. It's like, no, of course it's good old Frank Sinatra. In a song I don't believe I'd actually.
It's one of the B-sides of his. Like, I can't, but it was still a good one. I'm blanking on it right now, even though I just saw it 3 hours ago.
Yeah, and it was basically a song saying like, I don't care, I'm not going to dance with you. So, alright.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, that was, I think, shortly before his accident.
Because he does all of that dancing around, and then that makes him think, okay, I'm going to try.
I'm going to put on my pantyhose.
Now, well, obviously he has his accident that gets in the thing, and then he tries to take it away. I don't understand why his character would want it to go away, but anyway, he tries to get rid of it, and he tries to do pretty much exactly the same thing, but then he just takes it out in, again, such a long cord it must be. He takes the thing out to a balcony this time, and holds it up, and does get struck by lightning.
Amazingly, yes.
Like, there is no way this should work.
Way this is going to happen again.
At the very least, that building would have some sort of metal rod on the roof just to try and dissipate any of these possible lightning strikes. And now he gets hit.
God was really paying attention to this case of this guy. So he's like, well, this guy's got to be in a dig right now. So we'll just give him another zap.
Right? Either that, or let's say there was some. I can't even say benevolent at this point, but there was something that gave him the power, and then he just goes like, "Oh no, how does shit go away? Go enjoy it some more right now. I'll go away."
So spoiler, that did not work, even though he thinks for a moment it did. But
it didn't. Which, okay, possibly the most unrealistic thing that happened in the entire film is the fact that he walks out of his building. And then walks down the road, and then has to walk into a department store and get to the perfume aisle before he runs into any women.
Well, and also this is supposed to be New York, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. So, also on the street that there's just like 5 guys on the street in morning Manhattan or Brooklyn or wherever you're at.
And I understand that, yes, this was 16 years ago, but this wasn't 36 years ago. There's no cars. There's no traffic.
Yeah, they could not afford a lot of day players on that day when they shot that, apparently.
No. And I do find it interesting as well. Like, the way he wanted to test it was to go to where there's lots of women in one place, which is how he got overwhelmed in the first case. So wouldn't you go somewhere where there's like 2 women? Like, and then just kind of like hang around, see what you hear, rather than go somewhere where he's trying to specifically see if he's hearing what they're thinking or if he's hearing what they're saying. So he goes somewhere with women all around him, with all these voices going on, so he has to swivel around so that he can actually find people, and then it's 2 deaf people talking that makes him realize, oh, I've still got this thing. And there was another scene that kind of went on just a bit too long. It was like, oh, I hear something. No, okay, they're talking. Oh, I hear something. No, they're talking. Oh, I hear something. No, they're talking. Oh, I hear something. No, they're talking. Oh, I hear something. Oh, crap, it's the deaf people. I shouldn't be able to hear that. No, it's like, well, surely you could cut that down by 1 or 2 like revelations.
Perhaps. So anywho, he realizes kind of by the urging of the therapist, really, that he can use this for his own gain, that it's actually a good thing for him, that he can use it to take advantage of his work, his sex life, his relationship with the daughter.
I didn't even think about that. It's very, very, very strange that the marriage counselor psychiatrist is
like,
the one
you can
that
get laid a lot with this, you know?
She's the one that's like, okay, you know what women want, and you can give it to them. You should do that.
You should go be even a filthier bastard than you have been.
It's like, No, nothing like, oh, well, now you can have better relationships with the women in your life because you'll be able to understand where they're coming from. Uh-huh. No, it's, so you
turn that against them.
Yeah. You'll totally be able to use what they're thinking and get them to like you more.
Yes. Like, and when they're not any use to you, you can just not call them for 6 days.
Yes.
And tell them you're gay. They'll be fine with it. Yeah. So I thought that was odd too. That the therapist was, like, just give him the green light. Go for it, man. Go be a piece of shit. Go with God and screw a lot of girls. All right, and screw over your boss at work.
Well, and speaking of, the whole Marissa Tomei scene.
I love Marissa Tomei, by the way.
I have nothing against Marissa Tomei.
I love her as an actress. She's gorgeous. Yeah.
Nothing against her.
Okay, so anyway.
But that bedroom scene.
Yeah.
Bit much? A little bit?
I didn't think, yeah.
I mean, I got it, that obviously it was showing she was thinking something and he was reacting to that. And all that. Okay, that was all fine. What she was thinking at the end... Especially how loud she was thinking it. A little too on the nose.
I don't know. I mean, I've certainly heard worse after those scenes. See Fight Club after some of the things Marla says after her sexual romps with Tyler.
Yes.
That's the high bar.
That's also
there.
funny.
I've been following that since grade school.
I also believe that was entirely Helena Bonham Carter when she did that one. Also, did you enjoy the shot from ceiling down of just the pillows, and then it's the two people just coming into frame, and they're clearly coming into frame from something that doesn't quite make sense with what they were supposed to have been doing.
Maybe I'm divulging too much personal info here, but I don't quite know what situation they were in that was
true. But it did seem like Marissa Tomei was coming in from the bottom left corner of the bed. And Mel was coming in from the right side of the bed.
We didn't see it, so it's none of our business. Nancy Myers showed us what she wanted to show us.
That's right.
All right.
Well, you don't know. Maybe she wanted to show more, but she was held back by the studio.
I don't know. Yeah.
This was actually her attempt to say, no, I want to get into more raunchy stuff, please. And
it just did not pan out. So... I kind of alluded earlier to that I was kind of harboring a secret here, and I've kind of kept it. I like this movie. Paul. Okay. I don't know how it took me that long to get it out. Just to be clear, I don't love this movie.
No.
It's got a lot of issues.
Yes,
a lot of problems.
It really does.
Length, some dragging points, some redundant scenes, the over-characterization, the exposition, all that stuff.
And the incredible under-characterization.
I really do. I kind of enjoyed it this morning. It was a nice little morning movie for a Sunday morning movie. I think it's, I don't know if you would agree or not. I'll find out in a second if I should say it. I think it was really shot quite well. I thought I thought the scenes and the blocking was really well done, and I just liked to. I thought the camera work was pretty nice. I don't know.
I have nothing bad to say about cinematography.
Also maybe this is a little bit of a. I should probably give a little bit of a disclaimer here. I had just seen Ernest 2 days prior.
Okay.
Which see the Ernest episode if and when that or when that comes out or when it's available here. So it was nice to actually see a real movie where people worked on it and there was a plot and things happened and there were jokes that actually did kind of make me laugh a little bit.
Not to let you know too much about.
But it was nice to actually see. Oh, this is what you can do when you spend some money and have some talent on screen.
And Mel Gibson.
I actually really. I thought they had chemistry together. I don't know, Mel and I've seen better. I've seen worse. I thought it was good enough. And then I also would say that I thought they didn't hit it too. I mean, they almost went real heavy with it. But I did think this film has some heart to it as well, which is always appreciated. Definitely the. I mean, we've seen it. It's a kind of trope-ish. but the frayed relationship with negligent father and daughter. But that was, I think, nicely handled. And especially Judy Greer, who I absolutely love as Erin, the geeky file clerk, or geeky file.
Again, no last name, despite how important her character is.
Yeah, but I mean, it does show that he has a heart, and like she's clearly having these suicidal thoughts, and
even the first one.
I mean, yes,
phases him.
He doesn't. I shouldn't give him too much credit because he hears it. I think there's like 2 instances where he overhears something in the office that is like, okay, they won't know I'm gone, or I should just jump out this window or something. But then they'll have to, they won't know until they have to step on glass or whatever.
Let's say I will say that
he still didn't step in.
But he didn't step in, and also when he actually does try to kind of say something to his friend, work colleague, whatever it is. And he's like, she's kind of funny. Suicidal, but kind of funny. It's like, that's not what you lead with. You don't just throw out, that person's kind of suicidal.
I don't know how long she's going to be funny, if you get my meaning. But she's funny right now.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you can, folks.
Yeah, because who knows if we'll see her tomorrow. But so he does take an interest in her well-being.
Yes.
And forgive me if I get these events out of order. So he tracks her down using this, and then finally gets aid from this Chinese woman in Chinatown or whatever. Which he still had his powers at this point. Yes,
up until
until he goes into that alley. Yeah. So. Can he not? He did not hear any of her thoughts. Is there a language barrier?
I would imagine language barrier.
So he could hear her thoughts, but it was just all in Chinese.
Yeah, he would have heard the Chinese. Cause
well, they should have. I would have liked to have seen that or some representation. of that.
I don't know, because obviously the dog was in English. So, and as much as I would like to think it, I don't think dogs think in English. Or even any language any person on earth would understand.
We've done it. We've found a flaw in the movie, finally.
Well, you finally found a flaw. I think I've gone over a couple.
But, so I was curious. I'm like, okay, nothing coming off of her.
Unless everything that he was like, down that way, because she didn't seem to say anything.
Well, I guess it's already been established prior by his 2 little office aide helpers that if you're not hearing anything, they're just idiots, right? So maybe she's just stupid, is what we're being told.
Well, maybe, but also I think that the shot that you got of them just kind of looking at each other poignantly, I got the feeling that either that woman knew that he could hear her thoughts.
Oh, we're going ancient, wise Chinese trope here.
Or she was a representation of the force that gave him that power, because he loses it immediately afterwards.
She was Morgan Freeman.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, she might have been like, he's ready to lose it now. He's learned what he needs to know. Assuming, obviously, there's nothing else in the film that even comes close to saying he was given this because this, or no real thing there. But that just the way that they kind of held on it at the end. There was she seemed a little I don't know, a little too much or something. It's just anyway, he gets electrocuted one more time. But this time with absolutely no side effect whatsoever. In fact, it almost seemed as though it was just happening around him. Like some sort of electric Faraday cage.
Yeah, the Terminator was about to pop up naked.
Yeah.
But so that's what makes him lose the power.
Yeah, so getting hit by lightning again didn't. Getting electricity around him did.
And he's still got to be some sort of god, because he's been suffered 3 pretty tragic accidents and he's fine.
Yeah.
No motor skills lost, no speech affected. Hair's still perfect.
Yeah. In fact, if this film were taken as gospel, shall we say, then they can just take off the warning label on the hairdryers in hotels. Like, of course you can use it in the shower. Like, nothing's ever going to happen to you. Apparently you might even gain superpowers. I don't know.
Yeah, I really did. Like I said, I saw it years ago, about 16 or so. But I did not remember when he's in Aaron's. It was Aaron, right? Aaron's apartment.
Yeah, Aaron.
Yeah. Sorry, Aaron.
That was the thing. I've actually got something I wanted to bring up at the very end of the film, and I remembered when the film shot. I was like, okay, it didn't even. What was the name?
Yeah. So yeah, I did recall, like, oh my god, is this movie taking a sharp left dark turn? Like, cause it really looks like something bad happened in that apartment. Yeah. And I'm like, if they, like, I cannot imagine this movie actually showing a body. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit if they do. But of course, that's not what happens. But
well, or
she just likes to leave her pills laying around.
Yeah, and I almost thought, like, a way that this could have been, like, a really good, like, real solid moment there could have been if he'd come across her seemingly dead, but, like, he could still hear her, and then, like, he's saving her, and as he's saving her, it's going away. Like, rather than losing it in the alley, he's losing it as he's bringing her back, type thing.
Too late for reshoots. I think. I'd like to see that scene a little in there. That'd be a little better way to go about it.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it would have been just a bit too dark for what they wanted to do, but given some of the other conversation topics earlier in the film and things like that, I think they could have handled it alright.
Yeah. So anyway, saves Aaron, whatever, gives her a job, and that's all you need to make people happy is just give them a better job.
Yeah. Technically he just takes a meeting with her to see if she could get the job.
Well, I think that it's implied that she is the only one for the job.
It is. And then we actually get the final scene in the film, and the final scene, he comes clean and says, you know how you lost your job and all that? Well, turns out I was just taking all of your ideas and passing them off with my own. Sorry! But I'm a sensitive guy now. And then...
Lesson learned.
And then... The only sensible response to that is actually what happens in the film, which is, so I have my job back, I'm above you, you're fired.
And I love that, yeah. And I love that we don't get an answer to, like, okay, so we leave the film, he is still fired.
So we don't know. Like, is he actually fired?
Yeah.
Like, was this just her reacting to everything and, like, cause obviously she's not then got on the phone to Mr. Wanamaker and said, oh, hey, I've just fired this guy. But he's then like, oh, okay, well, I'll leave. And he doesn't then say, by the way, you really should, I've hired this person, Aaron, like, please let her keep her job. Like, nothing like that. It's just like, oh. As far as I'm aware, he's not told anyone else about this person getting a job. There's been no official channels gone through. So this person's going to turn up the next day and say, oh, I've got this job. And they're going to go, what are you doing here?
Who told you? No, he had no authority to do
that. Aren't you Files, girl?
We got files laying all over the place. Get back to work. Stop this delusional dreaming. Yeah. Oh, that'd be horrible for her. Oh my god.
I kind of want to see the next day. But yeah, so, and I mean, obviously you said you kind of liked how it ended, but I kind of felt it was just
well, obviously it would have been more empowering for, I mean, it would have been a bummer of I mean, you can't have a rom-com, not too many rom-coms end where they don't get together.
I mean, I fully understood that.
I know it'd be more empowering for her to suffer for, like, okay, that was a pretty shitty thing you did, get the F out of here.
Well, either that or, like, you need to gain my trust back, like, some sort of, like, okay, like you owe me now, like, like, we're gonna work on this, something like that, rather than just, well, what sort of a knight in shining armor would I be if I didn't help you out here? It's like, and then you were just listening, right?
And then she just said, like, and then she says, like, I love you, or whatever, and so, like, at this point they've made out, they've had, like, one hardcore make-out sesh, they have
kind of got to know each other at work.
it has been like about a week, maybe, or so.
Yeah, and he has just admitted to taking all of her ideas and passing them off as his own so that she would get fired.
But willing to, I mean... I don't know. I just kind of alarm bells going there. That I'm not trying to paint Darcy in a bad light here, but she just maybe one of those girls that falls head over heels quickly, or there's guys like it too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even if she'd said something like, the guy I'm kind of, sort of, maybe starting to like something like that, rather than just flat out love you.
Even though you pretty much got me fired and made yourself look good in the process.
Yeah. And then,
you're Mel Gibson before we knew you were insane, so it's okay.
Yes. Although I genuinely feel that the film just kind of, ends randomly. And I don't mean as in, halfway through a sentence. Something like that. But it does just, you get that scene, they kiss for a sec, and then it's just credit. It's like, really? There's nothing else you felt you could have...
it's like the movie realized, oh shit, we went over the 2-hour mark 7 minutes ago. Okay, cut.
Yeah, well, they're going to leave if we don't just finish it here.
Yeah, we're going to lose them. We're going to lose them. Just cut the black. Go. Yeah, so they're like, kissing on the stairs. There's your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so with all that being said, what do you think? We got to get to ratings here,
I suppose,
before we go too long. I mean, some people might say we've already gone 50 minutes too long, but there we go.
That's some people.
So,
you should go first.
Well, I think you should. You think I should go first?
Yeah.
Alright, I do think you went first last time. So, well, I think I can safely say that you probably enjoyed this more than I did.
I think it's safe to say.
Yeah. Now, again, that's not to say that there weren't bits of the film I liked, and there were bits of the film I liked. We've gone over it. Dancing scene was good. The daughter scene towards the end was actually really well done, and I appreciated that. And some of the actual conversations that he's having with some of the other people and stuff, they felt like genuine conversations people might be having and stuff. And then there was the flaws that I've gone into and all this stuff. And I'm not the biggest Mel Gibson fan. In fact, I looked it up and I think I've only seen him in about 3 other films.
Really?
Yeah, I realised as I was watching, I was talking to my wife and I said, hey, I don't know of any other Mel Gibson film that I've actually seen with him in. I mean, I've seen Chicken Run, where he does a voice in that, and I've also seen something else that he did a voice in. And
none of the Lethal Weapons, though.
I've not seen any Lethal Weapons. I've not seen any of the original Mad Maxes.
Yes, I have seen feelings on Braveheart, I think. I have not
seen Braveheart, but my university housemate feeling on Braveheart are well documented at this point.
Yeah.
And however, I have seen Gallipoli.
Signs?
Signs, I've seen Signs. And I think there was one more, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But, yes, not really the biggest Mel Gibson fan anyway. So, but, like you said, I have nothing against the cinematography. With the exception of that really weird ending, I have nothing against most of the editing. I have nothing to say about the music. I didn't really notice it myself. Some of the characterization was a little weird. As I've said, I find it very odd that most of the characters have no last names. They're just first name and face. That's all they are. So I'm gonna say minus 4.5. I think.
Oh, that's a little nicer than I thought you were. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have nitpicks and stuff, but as a body of work, I'm gonna say minus 4 actually, because body of work I can't really critique. Most of the technical side is more the the stuff we've already gone into, and so I feel it unfair to judge it too harshly based on my personal preferences.
Alright, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, so yep, you're right. Otherwise it's gonna be a little different here. Which is, like I said, I enjoy it. I don't love this. It's a nice, charming film. Yeah. If you go along with the absurd premise, and just let it go and enjoy it for what it is. I think it's a fun movie. I do, or did, I don't know which is the correct way to say, like Mel Gibson. I don't really know if I have a current opinion on him, as far as films go.
Yes.
I don't know if I have a current opinion on him. But I was a big fan of the Lethal Weapons, was a big fan of Braveheart, and still am,
Right.
Pretty much, I've loved the first two Mad Maxes. Beyond Thunderdome kind of lost me a little bit. But, I loved him in that original role. And I enjoyed him in this movie. Helen Hunt, I'm kind of hot cold on. Right. I don't know if she would have been my first pick for this role, but I think she was good.
Yeah.
Above adequate, I would say. Good.
I can't think of who I would.
She's likable, and she was definitely very likable at that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a fun little rom-com. Don't expect a whole lot out of it, and I really enjoyed it, and I'd come around about a -3 on it.
Okay.
Yeah. By no means perfect, but it was definitely better than I had remembered, or I was expecting it to be much, much worse going back to this. But yeah, I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm going to sit down and watch it again, but if it's if it was on TV or cable or something, I'd watch for a while.
Yeah,
maybe watch the whole thing if nothing else is on.
Well, you might see if the dancing scene is coming up, and you're like, okay, I'll just wait for that one.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are some good bits in there. So that's what women want, apparently.
Yes. And as I said before, I'm not 100% sure who this was marketed to, so I don't know if it was what women want.
Get back to us, lady listeners, and
yes,
let us know how bad we screwed up, or how bad the movie screwed up, or both.
Yes, and obviously, once again, you can get a hold of us. I'll do it slower this time. At BlokeBusters on Twitter. I guess at BlokeBusters on Instagram as well. We're on Facebook, BlokeBusters. I really do apologize. I have been meaning to keep up with the Facebook, but I'm not doing that great at it. As of the recording of this, I am 2 weeks and 6 days from my wife's due date. So yes, it is starting to get real hectic right about now.
Yes. So yeah, we promise we're not turning into a bad movie review pod. Not
No.
But as life changes, adjustments will change. And,
yes.
We will get to the bigger motion pictures as they come out. But
yeah, and as I'm able to see them.
Yes, exactly. But there's nothing really that we have to see in the theater right now.
Yes, and I will say it.
Good.
I will say it now as well, just in case it comes to it. There might be a month where we don't actually do a release in the cinemas simply because I'm unable to get away and to see that. My wife assures me that I will be able to go and see that. However, she has assured me that now I'm waiting to see what will happen down the line, and again, I don't want to come off in the wrong way. That not to say that I need to get out of here. I've got to. I want to go see a film. I don't care about that. It's not that. It's simply for this podcast. I would go and see it, assuming everything is fine. So whatever.
All right, we will keep you posted as need be.
Yes, we will.
All right.
You can email us long form as well, blokebusterpodcast@gmail.com, and check out our website blokebusters.web.com. It's kind of fun, and also, if you enjoy our podcast, I know we have the sting at the beginning, but I do want to say, do go check out podbros.com. There's so many great podcasts on there. You'll find at least one more that you're going to want to listen to. And also, there's a hashtag out there that we've been kind of using called Pod and Family. If you search on that as well, there's so many great guys.
Yeah, that'll get you to a lot of good stuff.
So, yes, and obviously, do come back to us once you've done all that. We love doing this for you guys, and we love hearing from you if you feel like getting a hold of us as well. So.
Absolutely.
There. So, I've been Paul.
I've been Brian.
See you guys.
Bye.